What do big guns, big monsters, and big loaves of bread all have in common? Well, other than the fact that they're all in this game, I don't know. But anyway, Wolfenstein is a first-person shooter that follows the story of B.J. Blazkowicz as he prevents Nazis from using the power of another dimension to take over the world. It was released in 2009 and developed by Raven Software, and the game features a total of 10 primary missions and 5 side missions. And the entire point of the game's storyline is shown within the first minute of the opening cutscene. So don't skip it. But basically, BJ snuck onto a ship and stole a medallion that he accidentally discovers has special powers. He then spends the first part of the game trying to learn more about it and what the Nazis were planning to do with it. You get hooked up with a resistance group called the Kreisau Circle, where you do some work for a lady named Caroline Becker. She sends you to rescue a captured friend who conveniently studies the occult and tells you about the medallion's capabilities. Its power comes from a dimension called the Black Sun dimension, and the Nazis are trying to weaponize this power. Fortunately, though, you can weaponize it too against them. Not long after this discovery, Caroline gets kidnapped, and she's taken to the infamous Castle Wolfenstein. The castle's just as creepy as you'd expect it, and if you fight your way through, we do find Caroline, but unfortunately she doesn't make it. We run into a dude named Death's Head, though, who, if you ask me, he has to have some relation to Richthofen from World at War. But anyway, BJ finds out that there's a super weapon tied to the Black Sun dimension that the Nazis are going to use to take over the world. The weapon is aboard this Zeppelin, so we board it, and you guessed correctly, we're going to destroy it. Basically, to destroy this weapon, though, we have to destroy all possible ways to access the Black Sun dimension. Fortunately, though, the Nazis made this portal, so we're going to enter it and blow it up. And in what looks like a drug-induced nightmare, you fight Death's Head assistant Hans, a very original name for a German dude. And basically, once you defeat him, you destroy the Black Sun dimension. Exit the portal, jump off the Zeppelin, and the Zeppelin crashes into the castle. And now all portals to the Black Sun dimension are officially closed. The gameplay in Wolfenstein is fantastic. There are 8 different weapons that you can unlock and 4 magical powers that you can use through the medallion. Weapons-wise, you've got the classic World War II weapons that the Nazis carry, like the MP40, the Kar-98K, and the MP43, which is the STG-44 in every other World War II game. Then you have some heavier equipment like this Panzerschreck and flamethrower. But my favorite is the supercharged stuff like the plasma rifle, Tesla cannon, and my personal favorite, the this gun. It literally disintegrates enemies, so it's a ton of fun. There are also some weapons that you can stumble upon, like the MG42, an anti-aircraft gun. But for the base weapons, the player can actually upgrade them by taking them to the black market, and you can get things like extra damage, extra magazines, stuff like that. Then there's the medallion. You have 4 different powers with this that include the Veil, a shield, enhanced bullets, and the ability to slow time. You can also use more than one of these at once, which can put you at an extreme advantage in some cases. But the power does run out pretty quick, so you have to refill it often. And what makes this game so fun is that there's a wide variety of enemies to use all these weapons on. You'll see the standard foot soldiers almost everywhere, but there's also heavily armored soldiers that you'll run into. One carries a plasma rifle and the other carries a flamethrower. Then there's these overly sexualized Catwoman things that are super fast and scratch you. But also, not every enemy is human. For instance, one of the levels takes you to a hospital where you destroy the place, and then these super annoying crawler things attack you. And also on this level, you're introduced to invisible assassins that appear out of nowhere. And we can't forget about the skeleton thing on the cover either. I have no other way to describe this other than an electrical skeleton. But they shoot magic stuff at you, and they're very fast. And there's also several boss fights throughout the game, but the weirdest has to be this giant dust mite thing. They call it a Geist, but I have terrible allergies, so I know a dust mite when I see one. Now, this game features several extra things, and while I wouldn't call it a free roam game exactly, it does feature the ability to wander around and complete side missions and find collectibles. For collectibles, you can find gold objects that you can spend at the black market, intel, and tomes throughout the town and each level. And the side missions are also something I definitely recommend doing. They're all based around you helping out somebody from the Resistance, and one of my personal favorites is visiting a paranormal research center, where the goal is to free some hostages, but you find some pretty interesting things there. But beyond that, there's another one where you infiltrate the SS headquarters, and a side objective throughout the second half of the game is taking down these radio towers throughout the town. Overall, Wolfenstein is a fantastic game. I loved playing it. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this game.